I'm heading to a hidden spot on a remote island way off the eastern coast of Canada.
There's a very good chance that Tilting is the most Irish community outside of Ireland.
As strange as it might be to understand, I'm about to encounter a small town of mad-for-it Irish people who've never set foot in Ireland.
And although you may not have heard of this place until now, there are stories out here which proves that this really is a small world.
So here we go, Tilting, the top right edge of Fogo Island. If I keep going, next stop, Greenland.
I would say it's certainly not the edge of the world, but people had to work hard to settle here.
It was home to some of the first settlers in North America. The Portuguese, French, English came and left, yet one small group from the southeast of Ireland arrived in the 1700s and kept this town for themselves. I've come here because of a series of old films I discovered deep in the archive of the Canadian Film Board. In 1967, the lives of Tilting residents were captured on camera at a time when their island community was threatened by plans to resettle people onto the mainland. On release, the documentaries had an immediate and profound effect on a generation of Tilting folk.
We get a hold of it, Jack. Come back this way. No. Just over in there.
I want to meet them and find out how they and their Irish families survived. I want to see what has changed and what has remained since those once famous but now forgotten films were made.
And there wasn't a lot of cars here then, Jim, were they?
No.
What?
No, there wasn't.
What was special about those films?
Well, I mean, the people saw, just like the mirror was reversed and you could see what was going on, you know, and they looked and they saw what life was like. And I think they started to see, I think they appreciated what they had more than what they did before.
As kids in 1967, Len and Jim were destined to be uprooted from their homes. The Newfoundland government on the mainland felt the island was an expense not worth bearing. The lives captured on film seemed to challenge that idea. Rosemary Burke was another one of the children of Fogo. Her mother Bridgie remembers the threat to the whole island.
Do you remember those films when they were being shot on the island? Do you remember the children of Fogo?
Yes, I do. Remember it very well. I was one of the children. We would kind of do things that we always did here to show them what we could do.
What kind of things?
Well, we'd some of the boys would be building little camps, and we'd walk. You know, we'd have stilts and maybe bikes and that, and you know, we just want to show them what we could do.
I've heard that there was a possibility that the island was going to be resettled.
When they came in, they were going to close it down. They didn't want the people living out here because it was too expensive to keep them out here, I suppose, and get them wherever there was work, you know?
Yeah, I remember that.
I know they had meetings up there in the school, and everyone wasn't satisfied for it. They said they were still going to stay here.
But the people on Fogo Island are strong people, and you know, no one is telling them what to do.
18-year-old Siobhan Rose Foley recently graduated from the local high school. She is one of the few teenagers that I could find in Tilting.
So what do you do as a teenager here in Tilting?
It's very quiet, but that's the way I like it too. So you don't have to worry about walking up the road and a car coming and running you over. You can just walk in the middle of the road.
I notice when you speak, your accent isn't as strong.
No, the older people have a way stronger accent. I guess like the generations, as you go through the generations, it just disappears.
Siobhan is an only child. Her father Phil worked in construction on mainland Canada till he was able to come back home, whilst mother Maureen works in the local high school.
You don't think I look Irish?
Well, no, not really, because you got no freckles. No, but when you speak, of course.
Well, they remind me of any Irish mother, actually.
Yeah. I get that a lot. I do. Phil?
Maureen was already a Foley when she married Phil. He grew up with 5 brothers, all of whom still live close by. They were the first generation to see a proper road run into Tilting.
They were more isolated than we are now, of course, because there's nobody isolated now. But we kept all the old traditions and we intermarried and, you know.
So Siobhan, are you going to marry a Foley or
Neither.
No, I don't think so.
Nobody knows.
Who knows? Not thinking about that yet.
But people have married in the past. Foley's have married McGraths. Foley's have married Foleys.
Yeah.
Burkes have married Burkes.
Because there were so many of them.
That's true.
Now there's like only, like I have about 5 close guy friends in Tilting. That's probably like in our group. No.
Well,
Well,
6 or 7.
yeah, but no, like we're close friends. You would never ever like date anyone.
Don't be so sure.
I know.
Never say never,
Never
right?
say never.
No.
That's right. To bless yourself?
Yes.
That's Ireland itself has had big changes, right?
It has.
Big changes, yeah. So, whereas as a little small piece of Ireland over here by ourselves, we've stayed the same kind
We
of.
don't know the changes. Right?
We didn't get the changes you got.
When I was their age,
What was it like?
in our community here, there's 600 people, 700 people. Today we only got 200 people. So.
Yep.
Yeah, it's quite a dramatic.
And children are everywhere, right? Her generation, well, I mean,
They don't
not
do
much
that.
work around, is there? Like, you know? So they go to school and get an education and move on elsewhere.
Later that night, Phil took me out to the shed that he's trying to make into a pub.
Is there no pub in Tilting?
No, closed down. It's still there, but we don't be open very often, you know. Wasn't viable to keep it open, you know. Only for special occasions. Iceberg ice. Iceberg ice, they're the best.
Is your wife going to be too pleased with you?
Oh, she don't care.
You lads gathering here.
So long
every
as I got
evening.
the Irish with me, I don't have a worry.
Do the lads gather here every evening?
Oh yes, pretty well, yeah. More than this sometimes. You know, and a weekend boy, get some music. Paddy, get the guitar. You want a guitar or what? Why not? He's a good singer.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
This is my homeland, the place I was born in. No matter where I go, it's in my soul.
We're the only Irish community on the northeast coast of Newfoundland. So that makes us little.
Unique.
And the fact that they came here and stayed, the French came and English came, but they didn't stay. And the Irish came and stayed. So, and we're still here. And we're not going anywhere. Unless over to Ireland to visit you.
Down to St. Patrick's, to a sheltered spot. We'll kneel and pray there for the ones who are gone.
This small patch on the Atlantic landscape has plotted a community's Irishness and kept families bound tight. It's the story of the Irish in crisis, but with Ireland nowhere in sight. The people of Tilting drive pickup trucks and drink Canadian, and when it comes down to it, it's the province of Newfoundland that sees their taxes and educates the children of Fogo today.
In many ways, I feel people here are closer to their Irish heritage than I would be. It's hard to believe they've been living here 200 years, and yet the same expressions that we use are still here and alive and well. Like the whole shebang, and give it a lash. It's like a little time warp of Ireland, just encapsulated in that little town down there.